The night the Moon Prince first looked down at the earth, the heavens trembled in silence. The silver skies, which had always obeyed him, seemed to hold their breath as his immortal eyes fixed on a single, fragile point of light below. For centuries beyond counting, he had ruled the moonlit realm untouched by longing, untouched by pain, untouched by love. But in that moment, watching a mortal girl stand alone beneath the open sky with tears reflecting the moonlight, something ancient and forbidden cracked open inside his eternal heart. Love, but one emotion forbidden to him, found him without warning, and nothing in the universe would ever be the same again. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and love that defies fate itself, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who believes in miracles, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. The Moon Prince was not born the way mortals are. He was formed from starlight and silence, shaped by the will of the cosmos itself. His name was never spoken aloud, because names held power, and his power was meant to remain pure and untouched by human emotion. He governed the tides, guided lost travelers, and watched over dreams as they drifted between hope and despair. From his palace carved of pale crystal and glowing dust, he observed the world below like a distant painting, beautiful but unreachable. Mortals aged, suffered, loved, and died, while he remained unchanged, bound by laws older than time. The girl he saw that night was named Alara. She lived in a small village where the nights were quiet and the stars felt close enough to touch. Life had not been gentle with her. Orphaned young, she worked endlessly, carrying burdens that felt too heavy for her slight frame. Yet there was a softness about her that hardship had not destroyed. When she looked at the moon, she did not ask for riches or escape. She simply wished to feel less alone. That quiet wish, whispered without words, traveled farther than she could ever imagine. From that night on, the Moon Prince watched her. He watched her wake before dawn, hands rough from labor, eyes tired but kind. He watched her help strangers without expecting anything in return, watched her cry in silence so no one else would feel burdened by her pain. Each observation drew him closer to something he was never meant to feel. The moonlight around him seemed warmer, heavier, as if reflecting the weight growing in his chest. He began to linger longer at the edge of the sky, ignoring the duties that had once defined his existence. But love for a mortal was not just forbidden, it was catastrophic. The ancient laws of the cosmos were clear. An immortal who bound their heart to a mortal would weaken the balance between worlds. Emotions would erode power, and time would no longer stand still. The Moon Prince felt this truth in the subtle changes within himself. The glow of his realm dimmed when Alara was sad. Storms formed when he felt fear for her safety. His once perfect control began to fracture, and the elders of the celestial realm took notice. They warned him without words, through signs and cold silences. The stars shifted away from his path. The moon itself flickered. Yet he could not stop. Love once awakened refused to be undone. The more he tried to turn away, the more deeply he felt tied to her existence. He began to descend closer to the earth, shaping his light into gentle beams that followed her at night, protecting her from unseen dangers. Ilara felt it too, though she did not understand. She felt comforted when the moon shone brightest, as if someone unseen was watching over her. As seasons passed, Ilara's life grew harder. The village suffered from famine, and sickness spread quietly through the narrow streets. She gave what little she had to others, growing weaker with each passing day. From the sky, the Moon Prince watched helplessly. Immortality had given him power over nature, but not the right to interfere directly in human fate. Every instinct urged him to break the rules, to save her at any cost. And slowly, painfully, he realized that love demanded sacrifice. The choice he faced was cruel in its simplicity: remain immortal and watch Alara fade like all mortals do, or surrender his immortality to walk beside her, knowing their time would be painfully short. To love her fully, he would have to fall from the sky, becoming vulnerable to hunger, sickness, and death. The celestial realm would strip him of his title, his power, and his place among the stars. He would become a story whispered by the night rather than a ruler of it. The moment Alara collapsed beneath the open sky, exhausted and ill, his decision was made. The moon darkened as the prince stepped beyond the boundary of eternity. His descent was not a fall of fire, but of light unraveling into human form. When his feet touched the earth, the heavens shuddered, and the balance of the cosmos shifted forever. He felt cold for the first time. He felt pain, and yet he felt alive. Ilara woke days later to find a stranger tending to her. She did not know who he was or where he came from, only that his presence felt familiar, like moonlight given flesh. He worked beside her, shared her burdens, and offered quiet comfort without asking for anything in return. Though he never spoke of his past, there was a sadness in his eyes that felt older than the world. Together, they survived the famine, helped the village heal, and slowly built a life stitched together by shared hardship and unspoken affection. Time, which had once meant nothing to him, now became precious and terrifying. He watched lines form on Alara's face and felt fear grip him, knowing he would age alongside her. Every laugh was brighter because it might be fleeting. Every sorrow cut deeper because he could no longer shield her from pain. Yet love transformed even suffering into something meaningful. For the first time, the Moon Prince understood why mortals clung so fiercely to life. But the cosmos does not forget broken laws. The celestial elders, furious at his defiance, began to withdraw the moon's blessings from the earth. Nights grew colder, crops failed again. The people whispered of curses and bad omens. The former prince realized the terrible truth that his presence among mortals was slowly unraveling the balance he once upheld. To stay with Alara meant condemning the world to darkness. The weight of this realization nearly broke him. He had given up eternity for love, only to learn that love now demanded an even greater sacrifice. Ilara sensed the change in him, the heaviness he carried. Though she could not name its cause, she only knew that the man she loved was slowly being torn apart by something beyond their shared life. One night, beneath a dim and struggling moon, the truth revealed itself through fate rather than words. Ilara saw the sky respond to his pain, the moon brightening when he smiled, dimming when he wept. Understanding flooded her heart, not with fear, but with awe and sorrow. She realized that love had found her in its most impossible form. Love, however, does not always mean holding on. Sometimes it means letting go so others can live. The Moon Prince understood that to restore balance, he would have to return to the sky, not as a ruler, but as a silent guardian bound forever to watch from afar. He could not reclaim his immortality fully, nor could he remain human. He would exist between worlds, never touching, never aging, never forgetting. Before the dawn, as the village slept, he walked alone to the highest hill. The moonlight gathered around him, gentle and mournful. As his form dissolved back into silver light, the earth exhaled, warmth returned, crops stirred, the balance was restored, and the Moon Prince was gone. Ilara lived the rest of her life, carrying both love and loss in her heart. She never married, not out of sadness, but out of fullness. She worked, she helped others, and every night she looked up at the moon with a soft smile. She felt his presence in a quiet glow, in the way the night wrapped gently around her. Though they were separated by worlds, love had not been erased. It had simply changed shape. Years later, when Alara's life reached its natural end, the moon shone brighter than it ever had before. Some say the night sky wept silver tears. Others say the stars sang. What is known is that a single soul rose gently into the light, not as a mortal, but as something new. The cosmos, moved by love that had broken its own laws, granted her a place beside him, not as an immortal ruler, but as an eternal companion of light. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of love worth sacrifice and kindness that changes destinies, please take a moment now to like the video, share it, and subscribe. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive. Before this story ends, leave a comment telling us what this love meant to you, or who it reminded you of. The Moon Prince and the mortal girl never ruled together, never lived a perfect life, But their love reshaped the heavens and proved that even the coldest light can learn to burn with warmth. And sometimes the most powerful stories are not about forever, but about loving so deeply that forever changes its meaning.